What is that? And that was my 2-year-old daughter, as she loves dinosaurs. What's up, you wonderful people? I absolutely adore you. And for checking this one out, because this is going to be a different video than normal. So I did ask the people, the publishers of this game, Quoto, for a review copy, because Dino Tales looked like an interesting game to me. You might think, why? Why would a arguably hardcore gamer, not very good gamer, but arguably into the hardcore games, be interested in a kid's game? Well, I'll tell you why. Because my kids love video games and dinosaurs. And I thought this would be perfect. And I honestly saw that there's an opportunity for this game to be like one of those cozy kind of games that are really popular right now. Before we get into it, I do want to remind you guys to please hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell. Do all of that YouTube stuff for me. I appreciate you guys. We're on our way to 500. Can you believe it? Like, we're not even a year yet. We're really close. The year video is coming out soon, but 500 in under a year. That's amazing, guys. You're awesome. Anyway, so this isn't going to be a normal review, because I don't think it's fair to review this game in the same light that I would like a Metroid Dread or something, because it's not that. What it is, though, is incredibly clever and incredibly unique. So as you start off, you're given the option of naming your dinosaur and choosing its gender, and you're then allowed to kind of explore this big dino island. And as you explore, you find different things. There's dino bowling for one, which is awesome and fun. There's also a giant dino slide down a river of lava. But you're also looking for things like fossils, and you're also looking for other dinosaurs. And as you find little eggs around other dinosaurs, you can hatch them and name them whatever you want to choose. I chose mostly my subscribers that happen to comment a lot on my videos, which is what I always do, if you guys notice. But anyway, so I really found this to be kind of endearing and cute, and I thought it was really interesting because my 2-year-old does not have the motor skills to navigate said dinosaur, so I was kind of doing it for her. What I found was interesting was that she was really detailed. She wanted to see everything, and she wanted to take her time looking at it. As where me as a gamer, I was just like trying to get from point A to point B as fast as I could, but she was very adamant that I take my time so she can look and inspect all of the detailed stuff about it. And what I thought was really cool too was having my son actually take the controls, and he would kind of navigate the dinosaur, kind of go to different places. They would basically set out on an adventure. You're given a few tasks that you can accomplish. None of them are mandatory, by the way, but you kind of just decide if you're going to or not. It gives you direction, and then you can do this for a period of time, I think about 10-20 minutes, and then the game will basically say it's getting late, you should go home. And I like the fact that they actually give you footprints that take you back home, which is nice, and then you go and you rest in your nest and you go to sleep. Well, this is where I think some of the magic for this game kind of comes to light, and that is everything that you did is now recorded in a storybook, and you can take that book and read it to your daughter, because your daughter likes dinosaur bedtime stories. And that's what really worked out amazing for me, was that we have like 3 dinosaur bedtime stories, and I could actually create these dinosaur bedtime stories for her instead of having to buy something that someone else has created. So now we have an infinite amount of dinosaur bedtime stories, and I thought that was like really cool and this really neat idea. On the same token, as my son is 7, there's also the ability to change words in the story, and I like that too, because it can kind of test him a little bit, maybe expand his vocabulary a little bit, and also work on her vocabulary as well. So I really like the idea of this game, and I think this is a great game for a parent. Definitely a really good game for like a little kid. So there's so many good things about this game, and I will say, like, coming in under like $10 is a really good price for an interactive story that you create. I can say this wholeheartedly because, again, I've bought 3 dinosaur books, and they're over $15 a piece, and honestly not nearly as expansive or creative or interesting as this game is. So if you have that ability, I think you definitely should, especially if you have a kid who loves dinosaurs. And I understand, like, this is a small market, especially for a lot of my audience, but something to think about maybe if you have friends or whatnot, and something to suggest to people. Now, there are some things that I would say I would critique a little bit. I don't want to say bad things or good things, because this isn't a typical review. The things I would work on, number one is when you come upon an item like a fruit or something like that, your dinosaur automatically goes over to it, and that field or that that area is quite wide. Like, you can try to avoid it, but it's really hard. And so if you're kind of like looking to go somewhere, it just kind of like a magnet pulls your dinosaur over and they eat for a little while. And it can be a little, I don't know, time consuming. And especially when you don't really want to do that at that point. The other thing I would say too is I would offer a little bit more instruction as far as button pushing and what they do. For instance, dealing with the book after you created this book and you're ready to read a story, it doesn't tell you how to turn the page. And honestly, for like 5 minutes, I was trying to figure it out. And I thought it was a touch screen. I was pushing buttons. And it was finally, I figured out it was the trigger buttons that actually turned the page. But there's no indication that says that. And I think that would kind of help. I also think maybe a little bit of tuning on the dinosaur's movements would help. It's a little wonky, a little loose. Maybe you could just tighten it up a little bit. And the other thing being like, there's a bit of a stutter. And that's honestly, that would be it. And I don't even know if half of that you really need to worry about. I would really just focus in on adding the little bit more on the tutorial, and that's about it. Like, because again, this isn't a game that's going to be played by people who are expecting high performance and super rich graphics, even though the game actually does look really good and is pretty well performing. I gotta say, like, especially when you're doing things like going down the lava river and stuff like that, it actually holds up pretty well. But anyway, that's just a game that me and my daughter have been playing, and I wanted to talk about it. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you. You have a great evening. Take care.